This is underway here for the second half, Kevin. How much time did Wayne Bennett drum into you defensive work as a group?
Oh, it was the majority of the time, really. We did the odd bit of offence, but it was mostly D and really getting stuck in body to body and getting stuck into each other at the start of the week especially, and even to the point where we brought people from other clubs in Casford, London and players who were in the squad to run at us and have that full contact. So yeah, you felt really battle-hardened going into the game, and I think it's showing tonight how energetic and how enthusiastic they are about the defensive work.
Nearly kicked outfield by France, taken in by Jamie Shaw. That skittish running style we see of him so often in Super League, but he's managed to get his team just over the 20-metre mark. There's a few forwards just traipsing back, but England do enough to slow down the play and get their defence, or should I say their forwards, back into the line, ready to go forward.
Yeah, Jamie Shaw, his second carry of the game once again. He's done that quite a few times tonight, and he's really impressed me with his work rate, but I'm sure at some stage this game's going to break open and we're really going to see his speed as well.
Runs like that from Luke Thompson are the type they're going to set the platform. Hodgson with a quick play. Myler rolls the kick in behind. The chase is really good. They might just pin France back here. Shigo has to tap it dead. There'll be a goal line dropout and England making a really bright start to the second half.
Yeah, and that's almost the perfect start. Great defensive set. They made France kick from well in their own half, brought back ably by the back three, and then finished off with a great kick and a great kick chase. So full credit to the start. They've come out with the words ringing in their ears and done everything that I'm sure they would have asked of them.
So France to drop out. You know what kind of a boot they have on them in the shape of Tony Hugo. He's gone for a flattish one, hasn't he, which has just trickled past Elliot Whitehead, and a rueful look to the skies from the Canberra Raiders back rower.
Yeah, and he was disappointed there, but that's what Tony Guizot can do. He's one of them players. He'll have a short kick, and I think he's got to that stage of the game now where England need to really be careful of the stuff that you don't really see week in, week out. The trick plays, the chip over the tops, and like we've just seen the grubber to touch from the dropout. So they need to be switched on in all aspects of the defence now.
So the packs form. Farge has the ball in one hand. Myler watching carefully. Don't forget, you'll be able to vote for your man of the match on the hourly gap around about 65 minutes in. The shortlist chosen by our Our League legend of the game. We'll give you your 4 potential men of the match, and you will be able to choose from there on the Our League app. Are you watching? Meanwhile, here goes Farge, drops one off back inside for Gudeman, but he was well met there by some solid defence from England. That's the problem, isn't it? France are really going to have to try and open up the playbook to find a way through at the moment.
Yeah, and that's because the defence, they're working as a system, they're working as a unit. There's no one racing out the line like you see for the France team. They're defending together, they're getting numbers around the bodies, and so far it looks really well drilled side, really well drilled defensive side.
Hugo almost looked as though he ran out of options there. I'm sure pretty much every French chaser is offside, and then it was a brilliant bit of work from Jamie Shaw to bring that ball down. Was it dragged into touch?
Yeah, I think it's been dragged. He's given a penalty. So just going back before, Mike, you asked me about the defence we were in, and we was playing the affiliated state side at the start of the World Cup last year, and once we started to get to 50, 60, 70 points, we got the message on every time you get the ball you've got to kick it back to him, because he just wanted to see us defend and to see us defend as a unit. And they scored a try that day, an interception, and he was absolutely filthy, and he gave us the rounds of the kitchen. So I'm sure a few of the lads have been telling the other lads, don't get too complacent and make sure there's no easing up.
I mean, I know that he's going to be very different with you as a group internally as he is with perhaps people on the outside of the camp, but what is Wayne Bennett really like?
He's fantastic. He's what you want in a coach. He's honest. He gives it you straight. If you work hard and you do what he asks, he's great for you, and if you don't, he tells you. And we have the reviews where you rate each other and you rate yourselves, and it's all about honesty and hard work, and that's what us as players want, and that's why he's been so successful as a coach.
It was a really pinpoint kick by Myler. Maloudi had to come right in off the touchline to take that, and he was pinned down as he came forward with it. Reece Lynn, and England's line speed really just chopping into France at the moment.
Yeah, and Robbie Malone, I think he's really going after people here. He's got that much energy, and if he can keep that up, and once again he gets off his line and gets stuck in with Josh Hodgson, he's been fantastic once he's come off the bench.
Little scoop from Marianne onto Fage, works it wide. Maloudi all wrapped up though, and it was absolutely fearsome stuff, and England have won the ball back here. And it's Reece Lynn who's popped up with it. Meanwhile, France have two bodies strewn around on the deck. Let's just have a look at some of that defence once again. Fage was cleaned out there by Reece Lynn, and then as McGilvery wrestled with Maloudi, he tried to dump the ball away. England win it back.
You just see the amount of white jerseys in the frame. Whenever there's a ball on the floor, a good sign of intent and energy is who's around the ball, and at the minute England are winning all them little battles. You know, it's an effort thing, it's not a talent thing, and that's what you know, makes such good sides when all the good players are willing to, you know, do all the little things for the team.
From your experience of playing Test match rugby league, what's the difference between playing a game like this against France where you're 38-0 and it's going to sound like a silly one, but maybe against an Australia or a New Zealand or even a Tonga where, you know, the margins are far finer?
It honestly feels like a different sport. So these breaks in play that we've got, and all the tries that you probably play for, I'd say 20-30 minutes less because of the stoppages in play. But against Tonga, against Australia, against New Zealand, it's just non-stop, end-to-end, normally low-scoring games. The ball's in play for a lot longer, and it's much more physical, and there's no two ways about that. And it's an arm wrestle, and that's what Wayne is getting the team ready for, an arm wrestle, when he does the body-to-body contact early on in the week and gets you prepared for that physicality.
Hodgson onto Myler, who's been lively once again. Short ball again, looking to try and release Oliver Holmes. He's inside the 10. Hodgson surveys his options left and right. Infield it goes again to Milner. Can he add a try to those of the debutants tonight against the Chanticleers of France? Shaw skipping away, pops one back on the inside to Whitehead, who has to succumb to the tackle. Here goes Hodgson, away to that right edge. Lynn with a big fend, he tried to flick that one up. And it's gone to touch. And France will have the ball back here. And it's 38 points to nil, Kevin Brown.
Yeah, and I was just watching Tom Johnson. He was desperate for a kick over, and we probably took the wrong option there. We went down the short side and got bundled into touch, but what a great area to start a defensive set from. And you know, the boys are getting right off the line, and you know, they're looking at a weary bunch of the French coming off the line and getting drove back. That's the second tackle, and they've made no meters.
Yeah, it's running aground, isn't it, somewhat, against England's wave of white tonight here at the Leeds Sports Village on the Hourly Gap. Don't forget, your man of the match selections will be available in around about 15 minutes or so time, maybe a little longer than that, but as we close in on full time, you will have your 4 selections to make, as selected by our league legend of the game. As you go, just clubs one forward, looking to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, and the kick chase now is getting a little bit more broken, and that's what Jamie Shaw will be desperate for. As these wingers, it's like a well-oiled machine at the minute. It's Shaw, then it's Johnson, then it's McGilvery, and often Shaw again, and then the big galoos come off the back of that, and you know, it's really hard. And now Percival's coming, and the pace at which these backs are attacking the line is really impressive.
Yeah, ramrod straight and plenty of pace, but there's McGilvery setting off. Offloads well in the tackle to Shaw. England find themselves making meters here. France really struggling to get back into the line, although they've set it this time. Hodgson into Milner's hands, away to this left edge they come. They try to shoot out and shut down Connor de France. Just outside the 20, last tackle here for England. A little bit of afters there between Maloudi and Connor, club teammates of course. Clipped over the top, Johnston was there again, bubbles loose. Oh, it's been touched down by Oliver Holmes, but I don't think we're going to see a try.
I think he's
quite this time.
I think his cast teammates just put him in an offside position maybe, and he's just reeled the try out. There's nothing better than scoring for your country, and unfortunately there, I think it was Ollie Holmes who might have got the last touch, but he said he's offside, unfortunately.
It's a monster kick by France, and suddenly, as Maloudi taps, they are almost up to halfway. And Robbie Mulhern once again involved as he smuggles the man to the ground. Spiegelman makes his way around the field. France are making a couple of changes. Battieri was involved there. There's a bit of a hospital ball there for Marion, but his teammate managed to call that one in. Valentin Niesa. It's a Fulham endeavour. They're struggling to make a break here, making a chink in the arm of it. That was a better carry from Escamilla. Carcassonne prop forward. Almost up to the 30 now. Julien dished it infield to Barto, on to Farge. They're trying to put the block plays on, and then a clever kick from Gigot, but Shaw read it beautifully and mops it for England.
Yeah, but that was a good set. That was a good set for France, and good defence also by England. I think the game's a bit more ebbing and flowing now. I think the fact that the Burgess boys and Graham aren't on the field altogether, I think we have lost a little bit there. I think all the front rowers who are on are doing a great job, but I just think the way they work together and they're so big, really, France really struggle with them, and when they do come back on, if they do come back on, then it'll be something similar as we see Luke Thompson burst through the line.
It's up to halfway. Myler as he clips a little kick over the top. It's going to bobble just in front of that goal line, but Gigo's got a long way to come here for France. And Margaret comes off. Aurix da Costa back on for France here.
Once again, that's good prep for a tough test match. You know, just getting the ball, putting it in the corner and letting your defence do the work, because it's clear to see we've got a big, strong and, you know, determined defensive side, and if we can keep putting teams into the corners and chasing them kicks, it's going to be very hard for anyone to score.
Paul Barriere Shield is up for grabs for the winner of this one. It looks as though it's heading England's way, and maybe it also looks as though James Graham's coming back on. A bit of a skewed kick there from France. There's a few players now on their hands on knees. They may be feeling a bit of the pace. There are a few players, Kevin, who haven't been involved in rugby league for a little while, particularly some of the Australian guys whose season finished, you know, sort of the end of September. Yeah,
and this is, I'm sure that they'll be staying out there for a long time and getting that, you know, rustiness, because, you know, just round the corner just over a week, they're going to play a very determined New Zealand side, so there's no chance you can be underdone in them and compete. So I'm sure the boys are all enjoying this, but, you know, it's valuable that they get the match fitness. But I think the way that we're playing this game, we're not just throwing it round and trying to score points, we're doing it the right way. We're trying to build a game, and it looks to me like we're trying to kick to corners and build a defensive game, which is going to be the benefit for next week.
So England from the base of the scrum to Holmes' hands, who's been heavily involved in his 50 or so minutes so far. Percival pops one up to Thompson, who just loves that rampaging carry. Didn't make too many metres that time though. Milner, who can play hooker, and stepped in there. Lovely hands to that far side. McGilvery has to stretch back to draw it in, and then he's completely swamped, isn't he? They're not shy on committing numbers.
No, they're not, and just looking at the team, we've slightly changed the structure. James Graham's come on for Josh Hodgson now, and Adam Milner's gone to 9, and I think he's versatile. You know, he can play 9, he can play loose, he can play prop, and I think that's what'll get him in the team, you know, more and more as the seasons go down the line.
Connor, good hands, Myler to Percival. Oh, he's dropped it in contact. France went for a quick free play. Johnston, the finisher, you can't take it out of him, can you? He tried to dot that one down, it was never a try.
No, he got it down again, but that's what good wingers do, the poachers, and they get the ball down and listen to the whistle after. But I think Richie Myler's, the more and more with this game's going on, Rich is really getting involved, and, you know, you can clearly see he's enjoying himself and being back on this stage.
So France then trailing by 38 points to 0 with no points in this second half, which suggests that they've really fought their way back into them.
Yeah, they do, and they, as we say that, they give a penalty there with the Valhalla.
Sorry, everyone.
It's Jason Battieri again. He seems to be having a running battle with the referee, so that's not going to help, and I think there's points on the way very shortly.
Yeah, England getting a chance to load up here against a French defensive line, 20 metres out. Escamilla is off, and Lambert Bellemare is back on. And Thompson rumbles in once again. He manages to jump and offload away. Was the tackle? He's called down a knock on, so England a little too eager once again.
Yeah, a bit scrappy. I think he's actually been hard done to there. I think the ball went backwards. I'd like to see the replay, but you know, Robbie Mullen's done a great job in his first debut. Oliver Holmes comes off, and now the big boys are back on. George and Tom are back on together, and I think that's a play that Wayne likes to do. I've mentioned before that they love playing with each other, you know, not just, you know, one on the bench, one playing. I think they really like hunting as a pack, and when Sam was there as well, they went as three, but you know, when they're on and they come one after another, and then James Graham on the back, we look really good as a team.
They're going to be heavily involved straight away as France come forward. They've made this a test match in the second half, it's fair to say. Ball comes loose again, another knock on. It really is starting to get a bit scrappy, Kevin Brown, but this is perfect for England.
The scrum's turned into a crab. It's just going across the field at the minute. It's not been pretty to watch this last few minutes, so I'm sure England and James Graham there is just grabbing his teammate and saying, look, let's not just drop down to this level. Let's just play our players and be clinical like we was in the first half, because if there is anything that there's a little bit of a downside on this game, it's been this little period where we've not really looked threatening, we've not looked like scoring a try.
Just clarification there, Oliver Holmes has come off, Tom Burgess has come on. Just wondering whether Oliver Holmes might be troubling the Our League legend who will be selecting the man of the match come the end of this one. It might not have been the... he's maybe not has the headlines of a Burgess, but certainly worked hard.
No, definitely, and he's done some really good things with the ball, but I thought defensively he didn't have to get stuck in, and you know, his opposite number, Benjamin Julian, he's kept him very quiet.
As they come forward again, England again into a really threatening position here. France scrambling for dear life. They are back across their own goal line here. Graham passes out the back to Connor, loops one wide, and he's looped it a little too wide. And France will get the ball back here.
Yeah, and that can be the frustration of, you know, you scored 38 points in the first half and you've not scored for, what, 16, 17 minutes, and you're just trying to come up with a play. And that's why I was impressed with Jake Connor in the first half. I thought he did all the little things very well, but then he just went for the wonder play and threw the long ball to no one, and you know, not even Tom Johnson could get that and score that time.
So England have a scrum. And they make something of it. In fact, it's France, should I say, have a scrum. Bartow. And France still struggling a little for field position here. England continuing to muscle up in defence. Gudeman will get a quick play of the ball. Farge, Battieri trucks it in.
I think the line speed, how quick the big boys are just getting off the line. Once again, they're going hunting in pairs, and it's so hard for the French team to get any momentum when they're coming off the line so quick.
Right to this right edge they come, Gigot. And it's a kick forward from Meludi, who then surely knocks that one on. Well, I don't think that was played at. It was knocked on by Meludi, and England will get a turnover ball here. 40 out from their own line.
Yeah, and we nicknamed him the Grub before Jake Connor. He's even been a grub with his own teammate, then just winding him up. So he's living up to his name tag.
Tom Burgess, it was ripping through. Jamie Shaw picking off the back of that carry and takes England within 40 metres. Once again, they are finding gaps now in this perhaps tiring French defence once again. McGilvery's turn. Battering ram stuff from him. As England move closer and closer to that line centre field. Here comes George Burgess. He takes three to cut the big man down. Away to the centre of the field they come once again. Graham dumps it back. Away to that right edge they go. Through Milner onto Reece Lynn. Reece Lynn just hauled down. Desperate stuff from the French. England calling out for another try once again. Myler goes for the chip to the middle. Jake Connor gets there! And Jake Connor scores a terrific try. And that will be 42 points to 0. And England really found their mark once again. And Jake Connor, who's got a remarkable record now, that's 2 in 2 for England for him.
Yeah, and he had no business getting on that kick there. I was watching him as he was chasing the kick. He ran past a couple of defenders and a couple of attackers as well, if I'm being honest. And he wanted that ball that much. He jumped in the air, and very similar to Tom Johnson's in the first half, had to get up, catch above his head and score the try. And you know, that's the quality he's got, and that's why he can play in so many different positions with the skill set he's got at his armoury.
Clearly the game was probably gone already. If you were having to take a choice on where you played in England at the moment, Jake Connor, where would you go?
It's really difficult. It's a difficult question. I think it all depends on the players around him. I think we're very blessed in the full-back position. I think we've got Tompkins, Lorbacks, Ratchford. In the centres position, I think sometimes we've lacked depth. I think that's somewhere that he could potentially be a real asset for us. Obviously Riesling coming through, we've got Percival and we've got, you know, other players, but I think as a 6, if we've not got Gaz Widdop or, you know, a player who can play there, I think 6 for me is probably his best position. But I think for England it might be centre to balance the team up. If we've got, you know, our best players playing, we want them all in the team, and sometimes it's not maybe best for Jake, but best for the team. He just fits somewhere else.
It's Richie Myler who hoisted up the kick once again, and as you say, it was all about the leap from Jake Connor. Got ahead of his man beautifully, just drops down on it. And so up to the hour mark, in England just exercising their control on this test match once again. The Port Barrier Shield is heading their way at full time, but they're doing it with a bit of gloss and a little bit of class and panache at the moment, as France struggle to contain those big forwards once again. And I mean, Tom Burgess, Alex da Costa, that's a mismatch and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you look at the edge now, we've got Luke Thompson playing in the back row, and I know that's where Wayne likes. He likes big men, you know, playing all over, and that's one thing. He took Liam Farrell off once and put a bigger man in Sam Burgess there, just purely for size, and I'm sure he's experimenting there now with Luke Thompson and seeing if he can do that role. But he's fast, he's big and he's athletic, so why couldn't he play there? And you know, we saw Wayne put John Bateman in the centre, and a lot of people doubted that, but John had a fantastic World Cup and probably came back a better player and a much better centre. So these little tinkering with the team is you know, really crafty by Wayne, and I'm sure that's what he's looking at now with Luke.
Here come France once again. I do wonder what the meeting of minds was like when John Bateman first met Wayne Bennett. Fly on the wall stuff, that one, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're both great blokes, though. They're both probably not what you think, what you'd expect. So it probably wasn't as good a meeting as you'd imagine. But yeah, John's a great lad, and you know, I'm sure he's going to have a big impact in the end of series or the series in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, England, New Zealand, of course. 3 test. Fage carves his way through, and France are on the board, and they avoid the duck egg. They have points. They have put their mark on this game, and it's Théo Fage, the St Helens man, who's played a bit of hooker, a bit of half this season, showed just how sharp he can be, cuts his way through, and France have a score. It's 44 points to 4, kick to come.
Yeah, and I think it was Liam Sutcliffe who was too eager to take the dummy. He took the dummy and Fage went over and scored, and they'll be absolutely fuming and gutted that that's happened, because that's the first time France have been attacking the line, and that's where we said at half time they'll want to go on and be really professional, and being professional is not allowing that little slip of concentration. And I feel really sorry for Liam Sutcliffe that he's come on there, and that's probably his first involvement, and that's probably one of the hardest things about, you know, playing for England. Sometimes you're not used to coming off the bench, and he's probably never played on the bench, you know, for a long time at Leeds. He's done it on a cold night after 60 minutes, and you know, I'm sure if he had his time again, he wouldn't be taking that dummy.
And he wouldn't have James Graham roaring at him either. I mean, I'm sure you never did anything that would incur the wrath of James Graham, Kevin, but he's a fearsome fella. And again, a lovely bloke, but
yeah,
a fearsome player.
He's the ultimate competitor. He's a winner, and all he wants to do is win. And sometimes that boils over into, him ripping your head off. And I've grown up with James. I played in the same junior side with him, and he's a proper Scouser, and he'll tell you he wears his heart on his sleeve, and if he's not thinking you're pulling your weight, he'll tell you. That's for sure.
44 points to 6 then, and we'll just see again the bite there from Sutcliffe. I mean, Theo Farge is an elusive brother, and he's got that slippery style, but as you say, Sutcliffe just took it.
Yeah, that was real basic defensive error, and soon as he took it, he knew what had happened. He knew he'd done wrong, and he looked up in the air. And sometimes you do stuff, and you know you're not doing it right, and the odd time you do it wrong, and at this level, ultimately you get caught out.
So Jake Connor gets us back underway. Let's have a try to salvage some pride on a night where so far they have toiled at the England coalface. Here comes Gudeman, who, as we were saying before, has had a rise through the ranks. He did play in the Avignon test back in 2016, but he was very much a bit part player at Catalan then, but has forged a place in the first team this season. And Tony Gigot now just popping up everywhere, and is that the danger for France, where Tony Gigot, frustrated, tries to get into every position, leaves a gap somewhere, and England can take full advantage?
Yeah, but I think after the try, it's been like an injection, and you want your best players with their hands on the ball, and we've not seen too much of Tony Gigot, and now they've scored the try, they've got a penalty, and this is where we need to be better as a team. The lads have given a penalty straight after giving a try away, and now they're defending the line again.
Got a few of your teammates up there, and a few of the Wigan contingent as well. Darrell Clark, George Williams, Oliver Gildart drawn into the squad. Players who will be involved in that England Test series against New Zealand. Tickets available on the Our League app, where we are streaming this one right now.
I'd say this is the biggest set of the game for England. If France score again, they'll be really disappointed with how this game's going, because I think it's 6-all in the second half, and England are a much better team than this.
5,144 people here at the Leigh Sports Village as Bastien Hader looks to take the ball over the line, but he's held up by England once again. So a decent attendance, up over the 5,000 mark. England fans here watching their side in their warm-up for that New Zealand test. Farge looking to wrestle his way through, but England pull the shutters down on that particular move. Da Costa rolls the grubber in through, and it was chased by Tony Gigot, but Chris Kendall has chalked that one off, I think. He's given a goal line dropout.
Yeah, and that's a massive release for the England team. I think James Graham screaming there and looking around and seeing what's happened as we see the replay.
As the kick goes through, clearly.
Well, I don't know how he's got a drop out from there. It's either a try or a 20-metre tap. It's definitely not a drop out. I think it's either a knock on or a try. So someone's been unfortunate, but I don't know who.
Maybe Wayne Bennett's had a word and Chris Kendall's here. Get some more D. Make them do more D.
Yeah, kick the ball back. That's not what you want to wear when you're an halfback, by the way. Regardless who you're playing, kick the ball back and use your shoulders.
And it's carted in by Lambert Belmar. Around about this time, very soon we should be having our 4 man of the match nominees on the Our League app. I'll keep you posted on that one. As Battieri away to Farge, Milner's off, Hodgson's back on, good hands away on that far side, and then a forward pass I think just brought play to an abrupt end. In fact, I think it was an obstruction call.
No, I think he was right. I think he's called a scrum and a forward pass. But England will be really happy with that, They had to defend up there, and France really got the tails up. They had a try, and then they had a try disallowed, and that was a big period for England there, because if they score again, it really sours the night. I think we've been totally dominant, and at 44-6, probably flat as France, but if they'd have scored again, it definitely would have done so. To hold them out there was a very good thing for England, and I'm sure that they can go up there and score some points themselves now.
So England then screwed deep in their own end. They're going to take it clear. They lead by 44 points to 6 here. Last 14 or so minutes of this one on the Our League app. The big preparations underway for the 3-test series against New Zealand, 27th of October in Hull. Liverpool on the 4th of November, and then Leeds Ellen Road on the 11th of November. And those tickets are available on the Our League app for all 3 tests. You should know the nominees very shortly. We'll keep you posted on those so you can dish up who you would like to see. Here goes Jermaine McGilvery. 4 nominees will be selected. And it's your job using the Our League app to select them, and the winner will get the privilege of being interviewed by Kevin Brown at the end. And it's probably the lesser of his 2 tasks, because you're speaking to the big man, aren't you?
Yeah, apparently I've got to ambush Wayne Bennett. So straight into the hot seat for me. I think you've given me that job because no one else wants to do it. So
you're the best man for the job. You are.
So you tell me.
His World Cup standoff, mate. So you're the best man for the job. Oliver Holmes, Tom Johnston. Trying to good day with the other 2. Richie Myler, I think. And so England. So it's Josh Hodgson, Oliver Holmes, Tom Johnston and Richie Myler just about got there in the end. My Lugol's need cleaning out, I think, Kevin.
Yeah, and
I
think they're pretty four good choices. I think the Burgess boys have backed them up pretty good too, but no, they're 4 good choices. And you know, Josh Hodgson, he's been on and off the field, but been fantastic. Richie Myler's got more and more involved, obviously. Tom Johnson scored his 3 tries, and Oliver Holmes does what he does best. He's been workmanlike in defence, but you know, flashes of brilliance, running the lines off you know, Richie Myler on that left-hand side, and you know, creating havoc. So all 4 of them had fantastic games, and I'm sure they'll be proud of how they played tonight.
So you can vote for those right now on the Our League app. Josh Hodgson, Oliver Holmes, Tom Johnston or Richie Myler. Take your pick from that quartet who've really impressed tonight. England leading by 44 points to 6. Get your votes in, and they will be presented and confirmed as the man of the match. And around about the full-time hooter here at the Leigh Sports Village. On the Our League app then, vote for your man of the match, and it's that quartet: Josh Hodgson, Tom Johnston, Oliver Holmes and Richie Myler. But at the moment, England being given plenty of work to do defensively. Battieri looked as though he was going to straighten things up there, but then peeled away to that left-hand side.
And he looked like a tiny man, did Battieri then, but he's a big bloke. He just had one of the Burgess boys, I think it was George that time, on his back. And that's never an easy thing when you've got 135 kilos on your back.
Out the back they go, Bartow. It's a really good kick, but even better coverage there by Percival. And he looks to come clear, and eventually he's put down on the 10. But that kind of release of the pressure when a player hits a ball like that and brings you out of your own end, that must just be really satisfying and really allows you to draw breath.
Technically, Matt Percival had to be great there. He spotted the kick, but he also had to pick the ball up and just fall behind his line. But he didn't just do it, he did it at pace and got his team on the front foot and allowed people like this man Jermaine McGilvery to back that up and get us easy to the halfway line.
Josh Hodgson it is who continues to forward momentum. England not allowing this game to just settle yet. James Graham has made way. Somebody's lost a boot in back play. There's no let up though. 44 points to 6 then. As Lambert Belmar makes his way to the sideline as well. A couple of changes to it. Bring you very shortly. Jamie Shaw just hovering in the pocket at the moment. So we'll come away through Hakim Maloudi, who shows good feet and good strength, good bump and spin to try and turn away. Farge has tried to lift the tempo once again. Three demand away on that left edge. France have done well to try and stay in the contest because the heads could easily have dropped them.
I was going to say, I think we've got to give them an awful lot of credit. They've come back battling, and you know, to be 6-all in the second half with the quality that we've got on the field for England is by no mean feat. There's a lot of these guys who aren't playing Super League for France, and you know, they don't look out of place, and they're really getting stuck in. And I think the longer this night goes on, they're really fancying it. You know, we blew them away initially early on, but you know, the second half's been probably what we needed, to be honest. If it had carried on and it had been 80-0, we wouldn't have got as much out of it as we are doing. It's turned into a proper test match, a slugfest and a grind. So yeah, I think deep down we probably needed this.
Hodgson to Myler, ships it on. Whitehead pushes it wide to Lynn. We haven't seen him really open up the taps in this one. He's got some turbo about him. I think there was one little break in that first half on the outside, wasn't there? But meanwhile, Alric da Costa down in back play. Hodgson goes for the kick. It's an awkward one. And I think Chris Kendall is full time on the clock.
Yeah.
Da Costa looks in a bad way, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's just struggling, and you know, he's played big minutes tonight as Da Costa, so he'll not be used to that. He normally comes on and does a bit part for Catalan. So these French lads are really putting it on the line tonight, and it shows what it means to them to play international rugby. So you know, full credit to them, and there's a few of these going to be going back home to France battered and bruised.
Yeah, it's been thoroughly competitive in that sense. No let up from England's big forwards at any point. A little scamper there from the fullback Stan Robben.
I don't know what the penalty score is at the minute, but we seem to be giving a few more away than we'd like. And you know, this game's been, you know, a complete two-half game. It's you know, it was so one-sided in the first half. It looked like it could just blow out, but you know, most of our head's been turned to the right, watching the French attack our line. But I don't know whether Wayne's got the message on again. Give him the ball. I don't think he would have been saying give penalties away and give them the ball like this, and probably giving them a lot more respect than that, to be honest. But yeah, that's how it's worked out.
They come through Canet, Christine Canet. He's close to the line now. Da Costa seems to have shrugged off that knock. Bartow takes it to the line. He went for the big short ball, and he must wrap that one into his teammate's chest, and the ball bounces loose. England come up with it, and it'll be a scrum, head and feed to England 10 metres out. And if you're France and you're blowing and you're thinking, well, if we're not going to score, we might as well keep England down in their own end.
Yeah, and there's not much you know, enthusiasm by either country at the minute to part the scrum. So I think both sides are feeling pretty fatigued, like you say. Most of these guys haven't played for a while, and if they have, they've played long seasons. So to have a bit of a break at the minute at a scrum is doing both teams good.
Don't forget those men of the match on the Our League app are available. Josh Hodgson, Oliver Holmes, Tom Johnston, Richie Myler. You'll be making your selections. And so I think at some point Kevin Brown will be departing.
Yeah, I think we've got another
big job to do, haven't we?
And then I've got to go and chase Wayne Bennett around and try and get a smile off him.
I think his first question to you might be, are you going to come back out of retirement? Internationally, that was, of course. Kevin very much a club player still. Resting those weary limbs. Well, that was a scrappy play, the ball, and France had to tap it dead because Percival's lurking. And Kevin Brown, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy those interviews. I'll be listening out. I know you're going to do a good job.
Thank you.
Kevin Brown there. Pleasure working with him. He's going to head down to fulfill his post-match duties as we draw to the close in this one. Around about 5 minutes to play. Plus whatever stoppages there are, France have to drop out here. England have 4.5 minutes upon which to add to their scoreline. A 6-6 second half so far. As Tony Gigot prepares to drop out from right under the post, and again he goes for that awkward skimmer. Good footwork there from Jermaine McGilvery. Takes a second touch just to make sure, and then barrels forward. We're going to test out that French line once again. 44 points to 6. Mulhern backs in the former Ireland international, has now earned himself an England cap as well. The Leeds-born prop forward went to Hull Kingston Rovers, has made a real success there. Here goes Hodgson. Skips back towards the middle. Jamie Shaw, will we see any lightning darts from him, or will it be just a simple push on? Instead it goes to Myler, checks back in field, good feet from Myler. Back on the inside it goes. George Burgess this time. Runs aground just shy of the line. Oh, and then it's as though there's a penalty being given England's way. Foot in the ruck. Myler. Tom Burgess looking to launch another raid. Stop just short. Hodgson to Connor. To Myler, they're all chiming in. They've got numbers on that right side. Here goes Jamie Shaw! Terrific finish! Sliding through to cap the night. Oh no, he's given an obstruction call. Ran behind the back of his own man. Elliot Whitehead is confused about it. Jamie Shaw denied a debut try to join his place on the scorers. It was a great finish. And Elliot Whitehead, well, safe to say he doesn't agree with that call. And France have a chance to break away from their own end. Little over 2.5 to play, and again England go hunting. And they find their target. Robbie Mulhern it was again, who seared out of the line like a cruise missile. So Escamilla. So look as that one goes up. There's Whitehead, who doesn't look as though he's blocking the play, but so maybe harshly ruled out there, Jamie Shaw. Farge towards that left edge with Gigot. We know what a threat he is, but he's been well marshalled by England tonight for the most part. So Farge moves the ball on, gets it back, he shrugs off one tackle. Was that a little high there from Elliot Whitehead? France find themselves on the last. What can they conjure up here? It's a Bartow kick off the edge of the boot. It swings into the hands of Shaw, who looks to pick a gap in the line. Broken field is right up his street, but he doesn't quite make it that time. And so England, maybe one last set or so in the final minute and a half. Don't forget those Our League man of the match votes. We've got Josh Hodgson, Oliver Holmes, Tom Johnston and Richie Myler. All of them have done something tonight to stamp their claims, whether it's Tom Johnston's hat-trick or Oliver Holmes' support play, or the efforts of Josh Hodgson from hooker. And of course Richie Myler's also been involved heavily as well. Last tackle then for England. They find themselves 30 metres out. Myler sends him another high kick. The aerial treatment for France, and it's well taken this time. No pressures on the line on this occasion. So France just seeing out the final phases of this one. Less than half a minute to go. As England prepare to bring down the curtain on their 3-test series against New Zealand warm-up. It's been a really intense test match in this second period as the hooter rings out around the Leigh Sports Village. England have won the Paul Barrier Shield. They've given their England test series against New Zealand a huge lift here. They've beaten